A man accused of sexually abusing children 40 years ago pleaded guilty in court. We're at his sentencing today to find out if the man, well into his 70s, will spend any time in jail.
We're just hours away from Big Blue Madness. We're live at Rupp Arena as fans begin arriving for all the excitement.
The United States added 49 new citizens today. We'll take you to the Kentucky ceremony where they became Americans.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon to you. A 77-year-old man learned how long he'll spend in prison after admitting he sexually abused children in the 1970s.
A Fayette County judge sentenced Jack Cassidy this afternoon. His twin, Jerry Cassidy, is also charged in the case. Our Kristen Kennedy talked to a victim who watched as the punishment was handed down. It's our top story at 5.
We talked with one victim who said it was very hard sitting in the courtroom watching Jack Cassidy. Cassidy found out this afternoon just how long he'll spend behind bars for incidents stemming back to more than 40 years ago.
I relived 2 years of my life.
Victims like this man, who didn't want to go on camera, sat in the courtroom Friday afternoon listening to what the old scout leader had to say.
Even though that's all past.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's an hour to do those things anymore.
Jack Cassidy pleaded guilty back in August to various sex crimes that involved half a dozen different victims. The victims were children at the time. Many police say were part of the Cassidy twins' Boy Scout troop.
I'd like to apologize to all those people for what I did. We were out of our mind. I didn't know what we were doing.
50 years ago, he wasn't out of his mind. He was taking anywhere between 30 to 40 of us out on outings. And we would go to jamborees, this, that, and the other. And then he would come into boys' pup tents in the night. That's not out of your mind. That's looking for sexual gratifications.
The judge ordered the 77-year-old to spend 20 years behind bars for the crimes.
She did the right thing today for the men that were involved 35 to 45 to 50 years ago.
Jack's brother Jerry is facing similar charges. He's expected to be back in court in November. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Cassidy registered today as a sex offender. He's attempting to make financial restitution by forfeiting his home to the government. We have beautiful fall weather to end the work week, but there are some big changes on the way for our weekend.
Indeed, WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell's here now with a check of a chilly forecast. I would say a cold forecast, right?
Yeah, downright cold, and that's the way it's going to trend. It's chilly out there now, but we'll get really cold as we head into the overnight hours tonight and into your Sunday. And daytime highs tomorrow, by the way, only in the 50s. I'll show you that in just a second, because right now we are running in the 60s. And you notice I've got our winds plotted on here, too, and it just shows you where the winds are coming from, and all of it rolling in from the northwest, and that is the source origin of our air mass. And you kind of see those plots animating there. Kind of hard to see because we are in the 60s, and that gives you the yellow color, but overall a chillier day compared to where we were yesterday. We'll keep those northerly winds rolling in here during the overnight hours tonight, as there's a good chance we break out into low and mid 30s throughout the entire area. What that means is frost is a good possibility, maybe even a freeze for some of us. This particular model run, and it's one I like, it's trying its best to hold on to low 50s for highs tomorrow. That is it. So that is the real chill. And it gets even worse during the early morning hours on Sunday. That's when I think we break out into upper 20s over the majority of the area. We'll track all of this a little more in detail coming up in just a few minutes.
The wait is almost over. Tonight, Big Blue fans will have a chance to check out the newest Wildcat basketball team.
Our Garrett Weimer's live outside Rupp Arena tonight, where fans have already started arriving for Big Blue Madness. Garrett?
Well, we're still 2 hours away from Big Blue Madness, but fans have been showing up here already for the past few hours. They've waited for it, and now they're ready for it. I've talked to fans from all over the state out here this afternoon. Let's not forget, a lot of fans camped out several days to get their tickets, but others lucked out and are just as excited to be here. George and Denise Kamek live in Paintsville, and they say they got their tickets just a few hours ago from a friend who couldn't come.
Called or messaged me and said, I've got 2 tickets if you want them, the Lower Arena. I said, we're on our way.
And even better for them, it's their first time at Big Blue Madness, so they're certainly in for a treat when that starts here at Rupp Arena at 7 o'clock. Live outside Rupp Arena, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Oh.
He didn't waste any time accepting those tickets.
Absolutely, yeah, let's go.
Somebody also grab them. Well, Big Blue fans excited to see what this year's team is all about and what they look like on the court.
There are several new additions to check out. WKYT's Rob Bromley is live inside Rupp Arena with a preview. Rob?
Well, Amber and Sam, all is quiet here in Rupp Arena right now, but it will come alive. The big show getting started at 7 o'clock here tonight in Rupp. It is Big Blue Madness as another season of Kentucky basketball is unveiled. This will be the 113th season. Now, under John Calipari, there is a slew of young talent that arrives year after year. That is the case again this season, and it's international, with players from Haiti, Canada, and Australia. They are all adjusting.
I moved here about a year ago, so I've been fine kind of adjusting, and having the international boys on the team helps because they kind of understand it a little bit. And but I mean, everyone's away from home here too, so we get it, and I'm just a little bit further, but that's fine.
We're still trying to figure each other out right now. I think that's one thing we haven't figured out, how we're going to play. Everybody, we all bring something different to the table, so that's coach's job to make sure we're at our best fit.
Jamal Murray, Isaac Humphries among the newcomers who will be introduced. Big Blue Madness tonight, and we will preview it coming up very shortly before the Madness. That will begin at 5:30. It's on the CW Lexington. And Big Blue Madness airing on national television tonight, 7 to 9 o'clock on the SEC network. As I said, all quiet here in Rupp now. The rehearsing is all over. I know it's going to be a great show. Always is. We'll have much more on it coming up just a little bit later in sports. But for now, that's it from here in Rupp. Back to you.
You just never know, Rob. Thank you. Big Blue Madness was started by Coach Joe B. Hall at Memorial Coliseum back in 1982.
A Central Kentucky gym is honoring a fallen Kentucky State Police trooper. Rich City CrossFit in Richmond is holding a black and blue honor workout in memory of Trooper Joseph Ponder. He was shot and killed during a traffic stop in western Kentucky last month. The gym is asking people to wear a black or blue T-shirt during their workouts today. They're also asking for donations of $10 to the Trooper Ponder Memorial Fund. A mother accused of killing her son will be back in court in December. Dia Adams is charged with reckless homicide for the 2011 death of Joseph Adams. Police say the 5-year-old died after receiving a lethal dose of vinegar. A brief hearing today was moved to December because more witnesses are needed. In August, a judge heard arguments over whether a pathologist's testimony can be used in her trial. No decision has been announced. 49 people now can call themselves Americans.
The group became U.S. citizens this morning during a special ceremony in Frankfurt. As WKYT's Victor Puente tells us, for many of them, making this dream come true took a long time.
For some of the people who became citizens today, this ceremony was the culmination of years of work. Just before noon, 49 people from all across the world became citizens of the United States.
This is the formal affirmation of what we already know, that you are all now Americans.
Judge Gregory Tatenhove oversaw the proceedings as all of the new citizens swore their allegiance to America.
Renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity.
For some, the journey took more than 4 years.
She's really proud. She's really happy that she's finally going to be a citizen, you know.
Not only are you leaving a piece of yourself behind by becoming an American citizen, but folks come here because we're still considered the greatest country in the world to have a fresh start.
The emotions that came once everyone was sworn in led to some tears and some cheers.
And then it's like a dream that I actually did achieve, and I'm really happy, and I'm really honored to be a U.S. citizen right now, and I'm feeling really good right now.
There was a representative for the Secretary of State here at the ceremony so these new citizens could register to vote. Because of the way voting works in Kentucky, they won't be eligible for next month's elections. They will be able to vote in 2016 when the presidential race is on the ballot. In Frankfurt, Victor Puente, WKYT.
We certainly say congratulations to them. During this ceremony, 26 different countries and republics were represented by those who are being naturalized.
A scaffold collapse sent 6 workers to the hospital. It happened at the site of a 7-story building under construction in Houston. Firefighters are still searching the rubble to make sure that no one else is trapped. None of the injuries are believed to be life-threatening. A massive cleanup underway in order to reopen several major highways in Southern California.
Storms and flash flooding triggered mudslides about 75 miles north of downtown Los Angeles. Chris Martinez is tracking the situation.
Crews are scrambling to clear mud from Interstate 5 north of Los Angeles. A portion of the highway, typically congested with traffic, is nearly empty. Geologists and other experts are inspecting the roads and nearby hillsides to ensure the interstate is safe.
Alguien habla 911. Help!
A violent storm triggered flash floods Thursday that transformed busy streets into a river of mud.
Are we stuck? Yeah, we're stuck.
Firefighters rescued dozens of people trapped in their cars and homes.
I've been out here for 24 years now, and I've never seen this much water in 24 years. You really can't tell how fast that's moving and how safe it is.
Hundreds of vehicles litter several highways across Southern California.
That includes down this way on State Road 58 near the Mojave Desert, where crews are using bulldozers to dig up cars and trucks out of the mud.
The flooding backed up traffic for miles. Trayvon Fair was forced to sleep in his car.
I was using my GPS and I thought I was going to be able to get through, and here I am, I'm stuck again. So,
while Interstate 5 and other highways are expected to reopen today, the area is bracing for another flash flood watch. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
There are no reports of injuries or deaths. The National Weather Service says a flash flood watch will be in effect again today and early in the evening for the mountains and deserts near Los Angeles. Ohio could become the first state to make medical marijuana and recreational marijuana legal at the same time. Early voting on both issues is underway right now. 4 states and Washington, D.C. legalized recreational marijuana use, but only after approving medical marijuana. If it passes in Ohio, only 10 groups who have already been selected will be allowed to grow marijuana legally. While a former governor is opposed, his distant cousin supports it and will be one of those growers.
I don't think that the tax benefits outweigh the hazards, the risks of going full bore, recreational, medical, all the way, flooding our state with edible products that are attractive to our kids.
I'm in this first because I believe in it, that it's right, and I'm in it second to make money.
Opponents are fighting back with their own amendment on the ballot to ban monopolies.
A principal spent her day on the roof, all because her students improved their state testing scores. Scott County Middle School went from the 54th percentile to the 80th percentile in the most recent testing, making it proficient. To celebrate, students were allowed to choose what they wanted certain teachers and administrators to do. And while the teacher went to the roof, others took pies to the face, kissed a pig, or even shaved their heads.
You know, we need to say, hey, great job, you've done well, let's celebrate that, and let's acknowledge that, and let's just shout it from the rooftops, so to speak, that you've done a great job, kids, teachers, and everyone that's a part of it.
Scott County Middle School officials say they will continue to look for areas of improvement to make sure their test scores are even better. Congratulations.
It is time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Fewer teens are using cigarettes, but more are using marijuana. The Centers for Disease Control tracked teen smoking rates from 1997 to 2013. They found that cigarette smoking dropped 64%, while marijuana use doubled. The CDC says more acceptance of marijuana as a harmless drug might be driving up the increase. Many of us are sleep deprived, but scientists say it's not a new problem. Researchers looked at people living in prehistoric times in Africa and South America. Investigators found they slept on average slightly less than 6.5 hours a night. Researchers found less insomnia in ancient times than now. The findings could help scientists come up with new ways to treat it. Liposuction is typically the best way to get rid of stubborn fat around the stomach, thighs, and hips. Now there's a new non-invasive laser option. Dr. Max Gomez shows us how it works.
Jackie Akbar is trying out the latest device to get rid of extra flab around her belly.
This is actually the first laser that we're using to melt fat.
It's called Sculpture, and it was recently FDA approved. In addition to all the tubes and wires, it uses a special applicator that zaps the fat without burning the skin.
This is the area where we have a cold plate, so it allows the laser energy to come right through here, shoot out, go into the fatty layer without damaging the skin.
Those applicators are snapped into place. Studies have shown a single treatment can remove up to 30% of the fat in the treated area.
We need no anesthesia for the treatment. There's no downtime. People can go right back to work after the session. They feel a little tender for a week or so, but it's like having a big workout.
Before and after photos from the clinical trial show the device can treat almost any area where there's a fat pocket painlessly.
The heat is just a tad, but the cooling that comes after feels pretty good.
And the whole process takes just 25 minutes. Dr. Max Gomez for CBS News, New York.
The laser treatment is not cheap. It costs $1,200 to $1,500 to treat an area. Another bonus, though, Dr. Katz says the treatment actually tightens the skin after the fat is removed.